Hello, everybody. My name is Nolan Ricker, and I'm currently the president of United Airlines. I'm joined today with my executive team of Paige Ellis, Chief Executive Officer, Kate Bissage, our Chief Financial Officer, Michael Sokolich, our Chief Operating Officer, and Kristen Wells, our Public Relations Officer. Today, Paige will be talking about the crisis that we are facing here at United. Michael will be presenting the solutions that we believe we must take in order to make this crisis just a little bit better. Kristen will be talking about the documents that we have released to the public as of now, and Kate will be wrapping up the overall discussion that we have. So I just want to start off with a brief history of United Airlines and our core values and everything about us. On our website, united.com, you can find that we were founded on April 6, 1926. United was originally started as Varney Airlines until March 28, 1931, when we joined the United Aircraft and Transport Corporation, and that's when we officially started operations and started flying everybody. And that was basically just a group of different manufacturers and airlines that formed together into one big airline. Currently, we're headquartered in Chicago, so this makes our main hub in O'Hare, but we also have various other hubs that we operate out of, some of which include Denver, Houston, Newark, Los Angeles, and various other places that don't just include domestic but also international hubs as well. Currently, we're a publicly traded company under the ticker UAL, so this means that anyone can own a piece of our company and invest in us. We have just over 96,000 employees, which includes pilots, flight attendants, and engineers, or anything else that you can think of that goes into the airline business. And according to Business Insider, we are the fourth largest airline company in the world, flying around 143 million people a year with a fleet size of 765. Now I'm going to turn it over to Paige to talk about the problem at hand.
On the evening of April 9th, 2017, United overbooked Flight 3411 from Chicago to Louisville. A passenger was asked to give up his seat several times, and after refusing, security officers forcibly removed the passenger from the aircraft. The way our team in security handled this incident was not in line with United Airlines' code of ethics. Our goal as a company is to regain the public's trust and to prevent anything like this from ever happening again. On this slide, I'm showing you a timeline of the evening of April 4th. So it starts off with Flight 3411 was scheduled to leave Chicago O'Hare International Airport at 5:40 p.m. About 20 minutes before the departure, United crew offered $400 voucher to anyone who would voluntarily give up their seat on the plane. After no one volunteered to give up their seat, the plane was loaded anyway. And after the passengers were in their seats, the crew offered an $800 voucher, but there were no takers once again. Passengers were then notified that the plane would not be taking off until 4 passengers voluntarily got off of the plane. The crew then offered again $1,000 voucher for anyone willing to give up their seat. After no one volunteered again, 4 passengers were chosen at random by the computer system to be asked to give up their seat. 4 passengers were asked to leave the aircraft, and 3 of which left the plane. 1 passenger refused, stating that he was a doctor who had to see patients in the morning, and after he kept refusing to leave the aircraft, security was called. Security once again told the man to leave the aircraft, and when he refused, an officer grabbed him out of his seat and dragged him off of the flight. Before the man actually got off of the plane, he was treated by paramedics and was placed on a stretcher. Then Flight 3411 proceeded to take off for Louisville, Kentucky. My team now is going to discuss further how our company plans to move forward from this incident.
I would like to thank my colleagues and team members for introducing the situation to you all, presenting the facts, describing in detail what exactly happened. So there's no question about it. United Airlines botched the whole situation. That's why we're here today. So we recommend United Airlines do three things immediately to right their wrongs or attempt to right their wrongs and prevent this from happening in the future. Of course, these are all interrelated, but the first recommendation is, to be frank with you, throw money at the problem. The fact of the matter is, United Airlines only offered $800 for passengers to vacate their seat. According to Chris Isidore of CNN, federal law actually allows airlines to offer up to $13.50 before they have to forcibly remove a passenger. According to passengers on the flight, United Airlines didn't even get close to that. Officials there do claim that they offered $1,000. Apparently, that didn't get to the passengers. They only heard 800. So I guess there was a interruption in the communication between the officials and the passengers. But that's regardless. United Airlines didn't even get to 13.50. That's absurd. That's ridiculous. That cannot happen. United Airlines needs to make sure that they're willing to offer more compensation for those who give up their seats, and it doesn't have to be money, honestly. There are many other things that airlines can offer for passengers who give up their seats. They can offer vouchers. They can offer discounts on future flights. They can offer to upgrade class on future flights. They can offer to pay for the stay overnight if there's no other flight that day they have to stay overnight. They can offer to pay for the food expenses in the hotel stay. And the fact of the matter is, everyone has a price. David Neeleman, who established 5 commercial airlines, he said he believes there would have been a stampede to get off the airplane at the right price. He believes that a price of 1,000, maybe even 2,000, United Airlines would have had a stampede, would have had ample volunteers to give up their seats. And the fact of the matter is, everyone has a price. Allison Priest, there was an article in the Washington Post by Dana Hedgepeth discussing Allison Priest. She got $10,000 travel voucher for giving up her seat. $10,000. Allison Priest, she didn't complain about it. She was actually offered $6,000 and she declined it. Her price was higher than that, and the airlines went and found that price for Allison Price, and she voluntarily gave up her seat. No incident. No one had to be dragged off the plane, and the airline doesn't have to. It's just a small dent in their financial statements. The second thing we recommend United Airlines do is establish a criteria or guidelines of how to choose volunteers in a situation like this. In a situation where the flight is overbooked, in a situation where after offering compensation, no one volunteers to get off the flight. I mean, because the fact of the matter is, money isn't always the solution. Companies have money, they have budgets that they can't break. So money isn't always the solution. Airlines has to better establish guidelines or criteria of how to go about making a decision for employees in that situation. There's no perfect set of guidelines or criteria or rules for employees to follow. There's gonna be many different factors that go into deciding who has more of a reason to be on the flight than others. And of course, that's going to be the discretion of the employees. And that is why you need to retrain their employees and train them how to use this criteria, how to use these rules. For example, a doctor, in this situation, a doctor needed to be on the flight to get to work the next day. He had more urgent matter to be on the flight than a single guy, such as a college student who's just going to some game in Louisville or something. He doesn't want to miss the game, but I mean, for the right price, he could have missed it. But if he was stubborn and he said he really wants to be there, I mean, yeah, it sucks if he gets off the flight, but I mean, he has less pressing matter than a doctor who has to be at work the next day. And there are many different situations. Of course, you don't want to split up families, so they would be exempt unless the entire family vacated their seats. But that isn't always the matter. You have to have a set of rules and guidelines for employees to know what to do and how to do it. But it's not only enough to arm or to equip the United Airlines employees with this tool, these guidelines, but United Airlines has to also train the employees how to properly use these tools. And that brings us to the third recommendation. United Airlines needs to retrain and upgrade their policies for all their employees, new or old, regardless of position. All United Airlines employees have to be aware of new policy changes. So the fact of the matter is, uncomfortable situations arise on a daily basis. There's always going to be a tough situation, tough customer, and you have to make sure the employees are properly prepared to handle situations like this, to approach to approach the situation with level heads, to 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 be respectful of the passengers, and understanding, level-headed, compassionate. They gotta be civil. You don't wanna. If you approach hostility with hostility, it's not gonna end. You don't fight fire with fire. You have to know how to. You have to make sure the employees know how to approach a situation like that. And it's not easy to ask someone to vacate their seat when they have paid for it, when they have every right to be there. An interview will be conducted. We asked random people at the Gatton College what they thought of this, and one interviewee said it's not fair. Simply it's not fair. They paid for that flight, that seat at that time, and they shouldn't have to be moved. They shouldn't have to give up their seat, and that's true. We wholeheartedly agree with that. But sometimes situations arise where, the seat has to be given to someone else, and it's uncomfortable, but you have to make sure employees are ready for that they know how to approach the situation and handle it in a level-headed and compassionate manner.